Hi everyone, this is Kara Shaw with Hen and Chick Cakes. Today I'm going to show you my new fondant tattoo method, which is the fastest way to transfer a detailed image directly onto your fondant. This can be done on cookies, fondant panels, or directly onto the side of your cake. You just need to be careful to line it up correctly before pressing it onto your cake, because once the ink touches your cake, it's going to be tattooed into your fondant forever. So this is my Icing Images edible printer, which is only used, of course, with edible inks. And this time, instead of printing on edible paper, I'm printing my image on to acetate. The first time I tried this, I wasn't sure if it would print successfully, but as you'll see, it beautifully prints a highly detailed image onto the acetate, and there's no smearing or smudging. So just be careful and remember that the ink has printed on top of your acetate. So as you handle it, you want to touch it by the bottom or the sides. And if you're going to set it down before using it, you need to set it down on the dry side, of course. So here I have a fondant panel that I've rolled onto a cutting mat, and I just put it on a cutting mat so that I could move it if I need to. I'm flipping the acetate over so that the wet ink side is down. I lined it up carefully before any part of it touched the fondant because, as I mentioned before, once it touches the fondant, it tattoos your fondant permanently. So set it down carefully and just press straight down with your hands and then with a fondant smoother. Once the entire sheet is touching your fondant and you've pressed it down, you can use the fondant smoother and press a little harder and slide it all over. As long as the acetate doesn't slip or shift, the ink isn't going to smear. And you can't see it here, but I'm holding the sheet in place with my other hand. So let's peel the acetate up and see how it looks. Uh-oh, I didn't press down enough on some areas of the design. So I'm going to be brave and line it up again so I can press the missing ink onto the design. Carefully line it up and then press straight down into the spots where the ink didn't transfer. And you can see that I'm going to put quite a bit of pressure now to make sure all of the ink transfers onto the fondant. So once it's lined up, really don't be shy about pushing hard and making sure that all of it gets transferred. Now I love this method because the way I used to transfer a design onto fondant was to trace it with a pencil or maybe use a pin to trace the image with tiny little dots. And this tattoo method is so much faster. Look at that. It's edible ink. I can put that right onto my cake, right on a cookie, and then paint or pipe inside the design. It probably would have taken me at least an hour to trace it any other way. I love how much detail I was able to transfer and so quickly. Anything that saves me time makes me happy. You do need to be careful for a few minutes that your hand doesn't smear the ink as you paint or if you choose to pipe in the colors. But it's such a thin layer that it really doesn't take very long. Also, since this is only the outline of your design, it's pretty easy to paint over it and hide any smudges that may happen. One thing that I need to mention is that the design here I used is symmetrical, so I didn't need to flip the image before I printed it. If you have an asymmetrical design and you want to use this method, you need to be sure to flip the image on your computer before you print it, because otherwise it's going to print on top of the acetate, and when you turn it over, it'll be backwards. So don't forget to flip the image. This is especially important, of course, if you're using this method to transfer any words, such as someone's name, onto a cake. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If so, please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Again, I'm Kara Shaw of Hen and Chick Cakes. Be sure to check out henandchickcakes.com and also check out Icing Images. The link is below. That is where I purchased my edible printer. Thanks, everyone.